Building a leopard gecko terrarium. This is Smog. She's about 4 years old. She's a leopard gecko. They live to about 10 years old. All right, so I ordered a bunch of stuff from Amazon from the bio dude. The first thing I got was leaf litter. Now, you could just probably get any leaves from your backyard, but make sure to boil them in water for 10 minutes to prevent any microorganisms or pathogens from entering. Then I got sphagnum moss. This is great for humidity retention in your tank. Then I got a bunch of cork bark flats, tubes, and chunks. Then you get this large bag of Terra Sahara. It's the substrate. This creates necessary air pockets for live plants to flourish while maintaining tunnels and burrows for your reptiles. Then I got biodegradables. These slowly break down to become organic nutrition for the substrate. Then here's more cork bark. These are the tunnels. All right, so this is the tank she lived in for the last 4 years. Everything's plastic, except for the plants. Hey, come here. Come here. You want a new tank? So I put her in this Tupperware bin. This is where I feed her. I'll show you later how I do that. I have holes in it so she can breathe. Here's her water tray. I make sure to fill this up every day with clean water. So first I'm putting down the Sahara substrate. It just feels like dirt, but you can tell it's a little bit better than regular dirt. Then I'm going to add the leaf litter. These are just leaves. Now I have the biodegradables. These feel like palm tree leaves. So I'm cutting these up into small pieces and I'm mixing it all up. Now the moss. Now this is important. It keeps your tank humid, but you have to soak it with water every once in a while. So I just put it in my sink and let it sit in the water, and it blew up. This stuff was good stuff. So I put that in and I mixed it all in the substrate. Then I decided to take this out. I should have did this from the beginning. So you want to mix it all up and use it all. All right, so I'm adding live plants. This is called Aglonema. It's a low light plant. And I also bought driftwood. And make sure to spray the leaves every once in a while, like once a week. So I thought about putting some crickets in here, but it was too hard for her to find them and eat them.
Some crickets? I'm just putting them in here.
So I don't recommend this unless you feed her a lot in a separate container and then put these in. There were too many hiding places for these crickets. It drove her nuts, and her health started to deteriorate because I realized she's not eating enough. And always make sure to water the plant at least once a week because the heat lamp in the heater dries it out really fast. And also pour it around to get through the thick dirt so the moss stays moist. And a mushroom was growing, which is pretty cool. That's when I know it's really moist in there. All right, so this is the best part about leopard geckos. They only poop and pee in one section. So I took a piece of the carpet mat, the reptile carpet, and I cut a little piece out, and that's where she tends to use the bathroom. Here's the carpet. There's green and brown. This is what I used to have her on. So I cut a little square on it, and I put it in that corner, and she poops right on there. It's similar to bird poop. That's all how I can explain it. But it's easy to clean, and you can just scrub it with soap and water, and it dries fast too. Now these are my lights I have over. This is the UVB light, or UVA, and here's her heat lamp. And then underneath, here's the mat. And make sure there's space underneath so the heat can escape. And I added this wood, this piece of wood. It was just stained plywood. Yeah, so it was so thick, I realized she wasn't getting any heat. This is where she likes to stay a lot. So I dug it out so it's real close to the glass and the heat mat. Now this is how I feed her. So make sure you have holes in the top of the lid so they can breathe. So the Tupperware bin, I just store a bunch of crates so the crickets can hide. So I use this calcium-infused insect watering gel from Josh's Frogs. That's where I get my crickets and the food. So this is like their water. So you just pour a little bit in the corner. Then here's their food. And then sometimes I add cornmeal to it. And I take a sponge and I wet it so they can have water from that too. And you don't want to do this all the time because of those spiracles that the crickets, they breathe through their skin. So you only want to do this right before you're going to feed them because they will die if it clogs those little holes. Put the crickets in the bag with the powder. I feel feed her maybe like 20 little crickets. And then I pour it out. That's a little too much powder. You don't want that much. That's how big the cricket should be. No bigger than that space between her eyes. So these are small crickets. Yeah, she's a little thin here. I'm trying to fatten her up. Her tail should be really wide, wider than her belly. This is cute. She shakes her tail right before she eats.